Hello everybody, this is Miss Myers and I am going to give you a quick demonstration on how to use this grid setup that I have created for you guys to enlarge Scooby-Doo to fit here. So this would make him 1.5 times of the size here. All right. A couple of things. Because he's 1.5 times, you can also use your ruler to measure things, and then if you want to do math, you can multiply it and bring it over here. But I'm going to show you how to do the non-mathematical version of creating this picture in this size over here. The first thing that I like to do is I like to alphabetize where I'm at. So I'm going to have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That way I can say, oh, this is square 8F or F8. All right, this is F8. Okay, and then that way I can keep track of where I'm at. You can go about this a number of ways. You could start with the very first top square and it has nothing in it, so I put nothing in it. The next square barely has anything in it. I think it has a tiny part of his Scooby's ear right here, so I could create that as well, right? And just draw it in, right? Then there's some more in C, but D, E, F, G, all in line 1, and all in line 2 are all empty, so I don't need to draw anything there, okay? Another way that you can help yourself is by creating smaller squares inside these squares. So if I were to do that in, let's say, this square, the first square in the row of A, I can, one, divide directly by just using my ruler from corner to corner and drawing a line. And then I would do the same thing over here. So I forgot to letter and number over here too. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we're working in square A3. I split it in a half over here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. You can draw these lines a lot lighter so that they don't become part of your drawing. I'm going to draw mine dark so you guys can see it clearly, okay? So I could also split that in half this direction. You can eyeball it like this, right? And then draw your line. Or you could measure. This square is just a little over 1/4 of an inch. I eyeballed pretty really good in there. I would prefer that you measure here and then draw your line. I'm skipping that step so that I can be quick about this. So I'm going to go ahead and split this one also in half. All right. And so I know that there is part of the ear here that comes above this line right here, and it goes all the way to here. So I'm just going to eyeball that in. It comes almost up to there. And then it meets this line before it does anything down here. So it comes like this. And then this edge is curved and not a point. And so I'm going to fix that. All right. And maybe it doesn't come quite that high. All right, and then over here we have this bump and it comes right to around here and it goes like this. All right, so I have that first square right there, almost done. I forgot this little line right here. It lands right around here and it lands right around here, and I'm just gonna put that in. Okay, so now I've done square A3. You can continue to break your squares into smaller pieces, which I highly recommend for anything that is a complicated thing. So if I were to continue on down to square 4A, I can continue this line right here straight down. And I probably also want to do a diagonal here, like this. You can go both directions. Now that gives you a lot of lines to look at, so you got to be careful that you're drawing only what the really black stuff is. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and create my lines over here in 4A. I've cut it down the middle that way, and I've cut it in half this way and this way. And doing an X first is also a great way to split it in half, so you know exactly where half lands. It goes through that line right there. So this little line right here continues all the way down to right about here. So I might have to adjust this one. It comes just on this side of the X here. And then it passes just ever so slightly into that square. So I can go ahead and get that now so I don't forget that. There's also this little curve right here. And it lands right in estimate right there, maybe. It comes across to here. And it goes up to about here. And then this line right here is going to come all the way down to right in here. This one right here is where we're working. I'm going to bring that down to here. All right, for all of these curves, if you're drawing like this, these all work, right? Because my hand rotates that way. If I'm trying to draw one this way, I might want to turn my paper around so that I can get a nice curve just by moving my hand. I can't turn this because I've got the camera set up, but that can help you figure that one out. Now, I recommend that as you go, you try and make the lines as thick as they need to be. This one is a lot thicker down at the bottom. And go ahead and get that stuff in. All right, so I think this line actually comes up to right around here. So adjust as you go, all right, so that you get everything just so. All right, because the idea is that you're doing this as accurately as possible. Okay, and I would continue this same kind of stuff all the way across to finish the ice cream cone and this big bump right here. I don't know what's behind Scooby, but he's got a big old ice cream cone over here. So reminder, just so you can see what it looks like up here without all of the extra stuff in the square. If I'm going to split it in half or quarters or whatever, I think the easiest ways can be just putting an X in there. So I'm going to put one here in E1, and I'm also going to do the same thing over here in E1 on my big side. If I have split, my X art here is not that great. Let's fix that. It's okay. But if I really want to be accurate, I'm going to land right on the corner. So make sure you're accounting for the thickness of your pencil. All right, that's where we're at in that one. And I'm going to check this again, and then I'm going to make my X. So I can split like this. All right, they match up. I have E1 and E1. And I can split in halves this direction and this direction to make the amount that I have to draw smaller. Okay, so because we have 9 going this way and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going this way, all of these squares to break it up into smaller bits. Okay, you should color in what should be dark. You should get all of the little divots in his nose, all of his little whisker marks, all of the little things in the ice cream cone. Don't try and fake it. Just put them where they're supposed to be. Don't try to just freewheel this, okay? The purpose of having the grid is so that you get exactly this exactly over here, and it looks the same. I hope that this helps you guys out, and feel free to play this back as many times as you need.